Hello and welcome to another Delboy Film Shorts, a little series of mine that I've started just to showcase some of my films. You're going to get a little bit of background information on the film. You'll get to see a bit of a unboxing or a showcase of the case, and then some background information on the film that's part of my database, and possibly some personal information. So we'll keep the format as we did before, and we'll showcase the actual box, and this one is for Basic Instinct. So here we go. This is the Steelbook edition. This is the last version I think that I've bought, because I've bought it on many different versions. It's got a nice sort of like case that goes with it, and a J card. There's the J card, just for a little bit of information there for you. You could possibly freeze frame that. I think this is the Studio Canal release from the 2020s. This is the Steelbook, which is absolutely gorgeous. You'll see that there is some spot gloss, matte, and some debossing. Just a little bit of a slogan on the back with a picture of the ice pick. And if we open it up, there's 3 discs, 2 Blu-rays, 1 4K. There's the 4K all picture discs. Very nice there. Then we've got the film disc 1, extras on disc 2, and a picture of the famous now investigation scene, interrogation scene, I should say. I'll just put these back in the case, and we'll get some background information on it. So we'll drop now down to my media playback, and you will see my Collectorz software, which is what I use to catalogue my films. I've had this on several different versions. I've still got them, but I haven't catalogued them all. What does it say, therefore, then about this film? So the plot. The mysterious Catherine Trammell, a beautiful crime novelist, becomes a suspect when she is linked to the brutal death of a rock star. Investigated by homicide detective Nick Curran, Catherine seduces him into an intense relationship. Meanwhile, the murder case becomes increasingly complicated when more seemingly connected deaths occur, and Nick's psychologist and lover, Beth Garner, appears to be another suspect. And oh my god, doesn't that sound sort of like interesting? I remember when I first saw the trailer, I thought, wow, this is very Hitchcockian, I suppose is the word. The cast. Well, what we got? We've got Michael Douglas. Nice to see an actor come out of the father's shadow. Kirk Douglas is very well respected, and I love his films. Michael Douglas, seen no end. I think I started off really, though, watching him in a TV series called The Streets of San Francisco with Carl Malden. But then I later on saw him in films like Coma, The China Syndrome, Romance in the Stone, Jewel in the Nile, obviously Basic Instinct, Fatal Attraction, just so many. And the consistency really is pretty darn high. Then we've got Sharon Stone, which was in a version which was in Paul Verhoeven's other film, Total Recall, so it worked with them together. You've got George DeZunder, who's Detective Gus Moran, which is Nick Curran's sort of best friend on the force, and Jean Tipplehorn as Dr. Beth Garner. Very weird case on her. You'd have to watch the film to understand what I mean by that. And then we've got the director, Paul Verhoeven. Now, during his run in the 90s, and, you know, a little bit into the 2000s, it was like everything he touched was gold. Starship Troopers, RoboCop. I mean, the list goes on. And Basic Instinct was a bit of a departure, really, because his was very special effects heavy. This one not being so. But my God, if he wasn't a Alfred Hitchcock fan, I don't know how he made a film so darn close to being what I think what Alfred Hitchcock would probably do today. Written by Joe Esharas. I can't pronounce that very well, but I know that there was a bidding war on this particular film. Musician Jerry Goldsmith in one of my favourite scores. I know that I like Jerry Goldsmith a lot, but this score is just so eerie and great. What have I got for some notes then? Well, actually, the first notes I've got is actually on the score. It says the musical score for Basic Instinct was composed by Jerry Goldsmith and earned him nominations for an Academy Award and a Golden Globe Award. Goldsmith described the process as challenging, stating Basic Instinct was probably the most difficult score I've ever done. It's a very convoluted story with very unorthodox characters. It's a murder mystery, but it isn't really a murder mystery. The director, Paul Verhoeven, had a very clear idea on how the women should be, and I had a hard time getting it. Because of Paul pushing me, I think it's one of the best scores I've ever written. It was a true collaboration. On its home releases, the theatrical release of the film was cut by 35 to 40 seconds to avoid an NC-17 or 18 certificate over here, with some violence and sexually explicit content removed. The missing or censored material later released on video and DVD as the director's cut, including the murder of Johnny Boz in the opening scene. And the director's cut, the killer is seen stabbing him in his neck, in the chest, and through his nose. In addition, the killer is still having violent sex with him while stabbing him at the same time. The scene where Nick rapes Beth is cut in the US theatrical version. He is seen ripping off her clothes and forcing her over the couch before a cut to the two of them lying on the floor. In the uncut version, she verbally tells him to stop and says no multiple times. The scene where Nick and Catherine have sex after going to the club is longer and much more explicit. In 2021, Studio Canal released a restored 4K Ultra HD collector's edition of the film on Blu-ray, DVD and digital download in the UK, Australia and New Zealand. That's the one I've got. The restoration was supervised by the director and completed in 2019-2020 using the original 35mm negative. Additionally, a new documentary titled Basic Instinct, Sex, Death and Stone was added as a special featurette. Lastly, the box office. The film had an estimated budget of $49 million. Basic Instinct opened in theatres in the United States and Canada on March 20th, 1992 and became one of the highest grossest films of that year. It debuted at number 1 at the US box office, grossing $15 million. In its opening weekend, after briefly dropping down the charts, it returned to number 1 in its 5th week, where it remained for 4 more weeks. In total, the film grossed $117.7 million in the United States and Canada. Internationally, it grossed $352.9 million, making it the 4th highest grossest film released in 1992 worldwide. And I think that's time really to have a little look at the trailer. And then I'll possibly give you some background information on the film.
There's no smoking in this building, Miss Trammell.
What are you gonna do? Charge me with smoking?
Would you tell us the nature of your relationship with Mr. Boz?
I had sex with him for about 1.5 years.
You didn't feel anything for him, you just had sex with him for your book.
In the beginning. Then I got to like what he did for me.
Did you kill Mr. Boz, Miss Trammell?
No.
You like playing games, don't you?
Games are fun. It's nice.
You want to play? I can play.
Everybody she plays with dies.
She seduces people. She manipulates people.
What's your new book about?
A detective. He falls for the wrong woman.
What happens?
She kills him.
She is screwing with your head.
She's evil. She's brilliant.
Why don't you let me do this for you?
Now we have the trailer. Very exciting. I saw this at the pictures and was blown away. I actually went to see it a couple of times. Saw it a couple of times with my friends. Saw it by myself once at the cinema. A different experience each time, which I think is probably a good sign, actually, of a good film. If you can get past the overly sex overtones of it, there's buried beneath it a very, very psychological thriller. It's almost film noir. It's got lovely film angles from low down and high down, and expansive wide shots and close shots. And some people will say that the sex just puts people off. But like I say, if you can get past that, it really is a good film. I love the score. I bought it as an expanded score as well. That's how much I loved it. Even the title sequence, which is very, very murky, is actually quite clever because it's actually a whiskey glass that's being spun around while you're seeing the action of what's going on in the bedroom, is incredibly sexy. With that, I'm going to say goodbye. It's one of my top films. That Steelbook is gorgeous. And with that, it's a thumbs up from me. Hope to see you at the next one. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.